Okay, time for another walk and talk. Aggs lose 38-35 to the Ole Miss Rebels. Not the result we wanted, y'all, I know. And I'm going to probably avoid going completely scorched earth on this one. I will be honest on that one. I thought there were some good takeaways from the game. Definitely thought there's some nice positives, but obviously some very low negatives to take as well. So yeah, I'm out here at the ballpark. Had to step away for a second, watching the game as best I can while the boys play baseball. But, it's important to me to get my thoughts down. So, yeah, again, we lose 38-35. Field goal attempt by Randy Bond doesn't meet expectations. We've lived and died by that field goal in some instances. This is one of those times it didn't go our way. Very, very frustrating, I know. So let's kind of recap the game a little bit. Here's what the thing is for me. This team has extremely high highs, I feel like. It's one of our best offensive outputs this year. Part of the problem is we got a really low floor as well. And a lot of times we play to that floor. If Jimbo was going to do anything with this team, I really feel like that he needs to raise that floor up. And I almost thought we did that for a time in this game. And I'm really seeing it. I thought we might have grown up just a little bit. If we don't throw the interception in the end zone, or we make the kick, find something in overtime, we might be talking about quite a bit of a different take from this game. We might be saying, yeah, this team grew up a lot, which is something I thought we did when we played Auburn. We started to get what I thought was more confidence, especially from the offensive line. So in this game, we started playing more downhill, and we really saw the running game start to open up. Moss did a really good job until he got hurt. Amari Daniels looked really solid behind that offensive line. Of course, they still had their hiccups. Even Ruben Owens had some really nice runs when he needed to. So I think their physical downhill nature that we started moving towards in this game really benefited them, because in my opinion, what this team lacks overall, and particularly on the offensive line, is confidence. You hear Jimbo, and I don't disagree with him. I don't on this aspect that we don't execute. And part of the thing I think we've been grasping at is trying to figure out, well, how do you get more execution out of your team? And, part of that is with practice and reps, right? But we kind of know that to be the truth. And we've all lived this probably ourselves as we've gone through sports. But why is that the case? Why does repetition and practice breed that? Well, my thought on this is that because when you practice and you become a master at something, or you master a technique, then it breeds confidence within you. And you know that you can run a particular play at a high level. I think we have some complexity on both sides of the ball, particularly on offense. And then when you mix in a lot of variety within that, and particularly plays that we may not be as well versed in running, your confidence level goes way down. And we found a niche in this game, and we started hitting it really well on that running game, and that opened up the passing game, and we were able to move the ball basically more than we ever have. I mean, Max Johnson, aside from the Homer Simpson type throws, like just the does that come up in that, looked pretty dadgum good. And he is tough for sure. And he's an A&M type quarterback. But when we started finding that way for the offensive line to do something that they can do well, their confidence just, all of a sudden it's there. And once you have the confidence, what happens? It breeds execution. And that's what we've been asking for out of this team. That's what Jimbo wants. It's painful to think that, well, we're just now starting to find the way to get that out of our team. We think it takes time. It does, but you've got to play to your team's strengths. It's like, have we just now figured out what our team is doing well? So that's that, y'all. A couple other notes I really want to hit on is that we really just need it's going to sound a little inflammatory, but we're a DB away from like being a wrecking crew defense. I speculated on whether we were, but it had to give way because we just don't have the DB available to be a wrecking crew. we have continued to have wide receivers just have their lifetime game against us almost, right? The Alabama wide receiver, and then Harris today on the other side for Ole Miss just was kind of devastating at times. So if we could find something to fill that void, we'd probably have a sort of next level team. How far we could go with that would be interesting to see, but we just don't have that. And so defensively, I want to say this because we saw Shamar Turner get kicked out, and the guy's playing on a lot of emotion. One big question for me starting off with this game that I was looking for in particular was going to be, are they going to quit on Jimbo? Has he lost the team? That's my number one question right now. That's for me, and you have not heard me call for his firing yet. I'm highly critical of him, but I am not calling for his firing yet. Because my criteria in large part is whether or not the team quits on him. If the team quits on him, he has to go, in my opinion. I don't think the team quit on him. I don't think we can say that here. Do I think they've been frustrated all year long? 100% I think they've been frustrated. I think we've been putting them in positions that are not ideal, and I don't think it's been beneficial. I think they've been extremely frustrated with that, and we can say what we want for the X's and O's maybe for Jimbo. That might be a more specific place to be critical of him and how he's managing his coaches and coming up with game plans and schemes. But the guys are playing for him. They executed quite well today once they hit that confidence level. So where am I with him right now? Still always on a bit of a wait and see. I'm somewhat satisfied with the way we played. I'm not satisfied with the result. Ultimately, the result has to come. So that is where we're going to have to leave this at the moment. We got 2 winnable games coming up, and we'll see about LSU. It would help out a lot to win out the rest of the way, but again, if we probably don't want to play to our team's strengths and take momentum away from this game in the way that needs to be taken, we can continue to struggle. So right now, I'll continue to keep watching for whether or not this team's going to play for this guy. And if that can continue, there may be some hope. Although, in the end, we're going to have to start putting results up, right? Going to have to put results up one way or another. So for right now, difficult game to have lost. It was right there for the taking, and we hung in with the number 10 team. We've got to do better, but we did do that. That is where this team can play. They can be a top 10 team, which is the most frustrating thing to think about for me. So it's almost like giving context and a moral victory. But the fact of the matter is that we see what it can be, and Jimbo needs to deliver it. Bottom line. All right, guys, catch you later.